Hey, everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by SoundCloud Studios. Visit online at soundcloudstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. SoundCloud Studios is the answer. SoundCloud Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@soundcloudstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia. Available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those you love will be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews and even loved and endorsed by Hollywood celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for it goes Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com on over 30 podcast platforms, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also, Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, Apple Music, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies, makes great gifts 24/7 for family, friends, and loved ones. Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia for great books like Missing, Once, and Wrinkles. Also T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, hoodies, phone cases, and more. Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia. Check it out today. I'll support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, themikewagnershow.com. You can also buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com, but themikewagnershow.com. Make sure you give generously today. We're here with a terrific lady who's a financial advisor with Merrill Lynch Wealth Management out of New York City since 1999 and creates customized strategies for sophisticated investors with no time, resources, or even desires for an effective yet efficient managing their own finances. Of course, we'll talk about that in the very special few as well. She also offers a sound approach to managing a client's portfolio and in-depth variety of assets and advice on retirement, IRAs, tax strategies, small business, 401k, and more. And of course, you got questions, she's got the answers, and she does it in numbers. Does a fantastic job. Live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios in beautiful downtown New York City, financial advisor with Merrill Lynch Wealth Management, ladies and gentlemen, the multi-talented numbers guru, Wendy Brown. Wendy, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Good evening, Mike. Thank you so much for having me on. It's a pleasure.
Well, it's great to have you on board as well, too. So you're a financial advisor with Merrill Lynch Wealth Management in New York City since 1999, and you create customized strategies for sophisticated investors with no time, no resources, or any desire for efficient yet effective managing their own finances. You give them a hand on that. We'll talk about that. You also offer a sound approach to managing a client's portfolio, and also you provide in-depth experience in a variety of assets. You give advice on retirement, IRAs, tax strategies, small business, 401k, and more. And of course, you also crunch out the numbers and give your clients a really sound advice to retirement and finances and everything. And before getting to all that, Wendy, tell us how I first got started.
So I first got started in this business because I didn't understand how to manage I was a kid. And as a young person, I didn't understand, how do the parents buy houses, or how did they pay for their kids' college education? How did they afford to take vacations? And it always fascinated me. And then my mother had a trust from her father. And when she would call her advisor to find out, what's going on with her account, he was very dismissive of her and would say, leave me alone and, don't bother me. And, check is in the mail. So I didn't go into this business straight out of college. I studied accounting and finance at NYU and be an accountant. And then, accounting was a little boring and I liked people. And I decided that working with people was a little bit more fun and interesting than being an accountant. So I switched over to the retail side of the business in 1999. And I just love what I do because I'm helping people achieve all those goals that I could never understand how people did it.
Hmm.
We'll help our clients buy a house, pay for their kids' college, save for their retirement. And we start with a financial plan. There's no right or wrong goal. Everybody's got a different goal. So, we create something customized for the individual to make sure that they achieve whatever it is that they want.
Hmm. That's really interesting. And I also thought about, the days of like, how just manage for vacations and all that. Back in the days, like I thought of like, piggy banks, like, you thought piggy banks provide all the answers, but when you smash it, it's not always the answer.
Well, piggy banks might not hold enough to pay for some of the vacations people want to take these days, or their second, or, and as a young child, you don't realize that, tens of thousands of dollars, or now the cost of a college education, 80,000 a year at some. So, how do you make that? How do you pay that? And
Wow. Oh my gosh. I mean, those numbers are just staggering. I'll tell you, it's like, back in the day when I went to college, I think it was about, what was it, 2,500 a semester, 5,000, whatever it is. Now it's just like, I talked to a college buddy of mine. It's like, I think like 35 years. Now it's like, what, 11,000 a semester. I'm like, yikes. Oh my gosh.
that's inflation, and inflation is getting even worse now. When I went to NYU, I think it was 7,000 a year. Now
Hmm.
I think 75,000 a year. And I look at that, and when you're planning, and if you have 2, 3, 4 children, how do you plan for that? So that's what I help my clients do. And it's not just education. What about their future? Social Security will not be enough to provide for most people. So how do you supplement Social Security? And then as we age, one of the things we all know, healthcare costs,
Oh
right?
my gosh. Yes.
I
Skyrocketing.
80% of your healthcare costs are spent in the last 10 years of your life. So, you may not spend the money on healthcare when you're young, but when you're 70, 80, 90 years old, those costs increase exponentially.
Oh my gosh. That is something as well, too. And what was that one precise moment that simply influenced you into what you're doing for the rest of your career? Like, say, it can be like, getting to Merrill Lynch, or like, helping people. What was that one moment precise that simply said, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my career?
I think, well, what happened was I was doing accounting, and like I said, it wasn't one of my, I didn't hate it, but it just didn't enlighten, make me feel alive. And then a friend of mine called me up and said, let's start this business. And we were doing debt repurchasing. And
Hmm.
when doing accounting, I was working for a company that you probably heard of back in the day, EF Hutton.
E.F.
Uh,
Hutton. Yeah. What was it? What was it? People talk, we listen. What was that catchphrase again?
When EF Hutton talks, people listen.
That was it. Yeah, that was like in the football commercials. I remember that. That stuck out, just so well. And I was just like, what was that again? It's been like, oh gosh, like 30, 40 years or something like that. I'm probably dating myself, but oh my
You
gosh.
know, I think it was bought out by Shearson Lehman. I want to say 1988, 89. Um, but yeah, so was always in this financial service industry. And so a friend of mine said, let's do a debt repurchase program. And we started doing that. And then her broker would call every day and just chat. And when the debt repurchase program didn't work out the way we anticipated, he said, well, why don't you join Merrill Lynch? And I thought, well, I don't have any background in the area. And he said, oh, don't worry, they have a great training program. And their training program is like going for an MBA on steroids. And
I like that.
hence program, it's a 5-year program, and they teach you all about investments, and whether it's stocks or bonds, alternative investments, real estate investment trusts. I mean, so we learn all different investment products. We learn about estate planning. Um, we talk to our clients about their wills. So they really teach you so much in the first few years. And then you're basically, okay, now go, run your practice.
Hmm.
But it's what really energizes me is when my clients say, thank you. You have been so helpful. I'll tell you a really cute story. I had a client for many, many years, and she passed away in 2018.
Mm.
I get a phone call about a week or so ago from a young lady. She says, my great grandmother, you handled her money and she loved you and she thought you were wonderful. And I want to work with you. And I was like, oh, who's your great grandma? And she told me who it was. And I was like, oh my goodness, I remember this woman. And I had met her grandson, or her son, sorry. This was this young lady's father. And the grandma used to bring the son in with her to help her. And it was like, here was 2 generations later, and she's coming to me to say, you were so helpful to, oh, it was the great grandmother.
Oh
right?
my gosh, that's amazing.
So that made me feel real good. And then, clients over the years are like, oh, you helped me so much. And they show their appreciation and their gratitude with words. And you know what, that makes me feel like I'm really helping people.
Mm. And that certainly does sound like it. And we'll talk about some of the things you offer. And when a client comes to you and the sound advice, we'll talk about that in just 1 minute. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by SonicWeb Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? SonicWeb Studios is the answer. SonicWeb Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international war-wearing author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia. Available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those you love will be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews and even loved and enjoyed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forrest Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today before it goes missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show on over 30 podcast platforms and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Make sure you take us with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. For great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia for great books, merchandise, and more. Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia. Check it out today. Also support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can also buy me a coffee at the MikeWagnerShow.com, and make sure you check it out today. Be glad to have a coffee with you. And of course, speaking of coffee, we're here with financial advisor with Merrill Lynch Wealth Management in New York City, Wendy Brown, here on the Mike Wagner Show. Talked about how she got involved with Merrill Lynch, how she got a great career started. And of course, you offer all kinds of services, advice on retirement, IRAs, tax strategies, and more. And tell us about that. What are some other things you also offer to clients?
So really planning for their financial goals. So I'll give you an example. A young couple came to me. This was probably 18 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And they had recently gotten married and they were renting an apartment in New York City, but they wanted to buy a house. So, I helped them put together the finances to buy the house. We got them a mortgage. Then they decided they wanted children, but they couldn't have children on their own. So they decided to adopt. So they adopted a son named Charlie. And adopting cost, at the time, it cost about $50,000. Now Charlie is a junior in high school and they've been saving up for his college. So when he goes off in, a year and a half, they have the money for Charlie's college. And then 5 years later, they adopted another child, Lucy. And I always say, thank goodness they're not my children, because I'd have Charlie and Lucy Brown.
Where's Snoopy and all this? Where's Linus and Schroeder and Pigpen, Pepper and Patty? Where were they when they needed them?
I'll say this much. Now he's got his 2 kids who are, prepared to go off to college. they're on their third home because they had to relocate. But when he changes jobs, he's got his 401k with his previous employer. He rolls it into an IRA, and we help manage the portfolios. So we manage investment portfolios using stocks, bonds, cash, sometimes alternative investments. We take a conservative approach. We're not looking to hit home runs. We're slow and steady wins the race. When it comes to cryptocurrency, we're not your go-to person. NFTs, we're not your go-to person. Those are, what's interesting with cryptocurrency, it's not used for purchasing items. It's an investment that some people are making a lot of money and others not so much.
Just like with gold, silver, copper, and the intangibles, or even like the commodities like wheat, corn, sugar, barley, everything like that. So it's along the lines like with the gold, the silver, copper, and everything like that.
Well, that would be considered an alternative investment. Gold and, commodities are alternative investments, and that we can offer. But cryptocurrency there's nothing there. I can't go to a store and say, I want to buy a loaf of bread with cryptocurrency, right?
Or Bitcoins. Yeah, that's been the big thing. We have them in areas too. You can buy Bitcoin. I'm like, nah, I think I got my dollars and cents, pull out the wallet with all the Washingtons, the Lincolns, the Ben Franklins, the Grants, the Jacksons, Hamiltons, and all that stuff. So yeah, it's like my Bitcoin is called paper currency. So
there will be alternative payment systems down the road, similar to credit cards and companies like Klarna. And there are other ones that let you pay over time. But, that's a payment system. We are more of an investment manager. So we'll help our clients manage their investments. Another thing that we do for business owners, and this has been really a big part of my career. So another client I started working with in 2000, before 9/11, their office was in the World Trade Center, then on the 7th floor. But when 9/11 came, they got out. But when I started working with them, they had 30 employees and they didn't have a retirement plan, and they wanted a business line of credit to expand the business. So we started a retirement plan with them in 2000. Fast forward, there was nothing in the plan at the time. 20 some odd years later, they have 18 million in assets in the plan and 150 employees.
Wow.
How did they do that? Besides working really hard, we offer them a business line of credit that they can use to finance growing the business. And now they're purchasing a building in Midtown Manhattan, and we'll help finance the purchase of the building. And it's a commercial property. So that's how we help the business owner clients. And the 401k plan is a great employee retention tool. So for any business owner who wants to make employees happy, offer a little retirement plan, give them a little bit of matching, and they're happy, and happy employees work better. And, it's a win-win on both sides. So with the 401k plans, we want to make sure that, one, they have a diversified investment menu, meaning that they have all different sectors of the market, and they have choices for the employees to choose from. In addition, we want to make sure that the cost of those investments are very low. So right now, there have been quite a few lawsuits of companies that have not offered the lowest price investments in their 401k plans, and the employers are coming and suing them. And as a matter of fact, there was one settlement just recently for $5 million for a very large company. So,
Wow.
Companies make sure that they protect their fiduciary responsibility. We work in conjunction with them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and how about some of the other services that you offer besides one we mentioned?
So one of the areas that we'll always talk to our clients about their succession planning. What's their next step? What's their succession plan? Who do they want to leave what to when? If it's a multi-marriage family or a blended family where you have a first spouse, a second spouse, kids from the first spouse, kids from the second spouse, you want to be fair to everyone. We talk to our clients about making sure that that's all lined up. And we don't do wills, but we'll give the client the information so that when they talk to their attorney, they have an idea of what they should be asking for. So, it's making sure that their succession plan is in place. We help them with managing their debt. I had a client come to me. He didn't know that his wife had taken a loan against her 401k. And he didn't know that she had 14 credit cards that she consolidated with a debt service. It was not a pretty picture. And the credit cards were anywhere from 14 to 28%. Yeah, it was ugly. So we got those credit cards consolidated. We did a 0 interest balance transfer, and she was able to pay off $120,000 in credit card debt in 5 years.
Wow.
Now, my husband did help consolidate the debt because she damaged her credit score by using a debt consolidator. So her credit score was horrible, but he could get the credit. So he got the credit card and she just paid it off over time. And we just kept rolling it until she was done. But to pay off $120,000 in credit card over 5 years was a big undertaking. And they were so grateful because we saved them, $10,000 a year in interest.
Wow.
So,
That and of course, nowadays it's like the credit card interest, you're right. It's about like you only have the days of like 5, 7, 9%. Now it's just like 14, 18, and here about 28%. And with the way the economy is going, it could go up to like 30, 35%. Who knows?
exactly. And people don't realize you pay some $10 for something, but if you pay it out over the life of what the credit card lets you, that $10 item is costing you $20. So,
Yes. And of course, besides all the services you offer that you accommodate to everyone else's needs and everything. And of course, how do people get a hold of you and walk through the services, and how do people get a hold of you, for all kinds of services?
sure. So I am located in New York City, but I am registered in the tri-state area. So New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Chicago, California, or I should say Illinois, California, Florida, Texas, North Carolina. So I'm registered in quite a few different parts of the country. And I have a website. It's fa.ml.com/Wendy_Brown, like the color. My phone number is 212-338-6093. And one of the things that we offer to any individual is a financial plan, which is a snapshot of where they are today. It shows their net worth statement. It shows a cash flow analysis of what their income is, what their expenses are. We inflate it. And so, like we were talking about college before, when you and I went to college, $6,000-7,000 a year is now $70,000 a year. Well, if you retire at 65 and you live till 95, you're 30 years without a paycheck. How are you going to do it? We'll do the cash flow analysis for you. And then the other thing we talk to clients about is long-term care and survivor protection. God forbid a young family has, 2 kids and a mortgage, and then the husband walks outside and gets hit by a bus. How is the surviving spouse going to care for the 2 young children, pay for their college, and maintain the home? So those are all the things we cover in the financial plan. And then if they like the financial plan, if they like our recommendations, we can implement them. If not, at least they have a snapshot of where they are and where they want to be. But the most important thing we do for our clients is we do quarterly reviews and we do annual rebalancing. We want to make sure when things change and life throws us different balls all the time.
Yeah, right? Curveballs, they say, curveballs, yes.
Like, you never know. I mean, look at this pandemic, how it affected so many people. I mean, people lost their jobs, people lost their spouses, their health expenses went up. So, when you do a quarterly review, you make sure that you stay on top to make sure things change. People get married, people get divorced, people have babies. All of those have financial impacts, and that's where we can really help our clients get through the obstacles.
And that's very important as well, too. And what's coming up for Wendy Brown with Merrill Lynch in 2022, we'll find out just 1 minute. You listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for early needs. Also brought to you by our official sponsor of The Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson's of Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. We'll be back with financial advisor Wendy Brown of Merrill Lynch Wealth Management after this time out. We're back with financial advisor with Merrill Lynch Wealth Management, Wendy Brown of New York City, here on the Mike Wagner Show. And we covered a lot of things and what she offers and how to help clients. What can we expect from you guys in 2022 and beyond, Wendy?
So for 2022, we are looking at higher inflation rates. I think everybody's feeling that now. You go fill up your car at the gas station and it's, instead of costing $50, now it's costing $70. A loaf of bread used to be $4. Now it's $8. So inflation is a big thing we're seeing in 2022. The Federal Reserve also said that they're going to be raising interest rates. They just raised rates by 1/4 point on the short side. And they're looking for 6 more increases. So we're looking for the 10-year Treasury to go from, it was about 1.75 a couple of weeks ago. Now it's at 2.3. We're looking by the end of the year to be at 2.5%. So we're in a rising interest rate environment, a high inflation environment, but technology is helping to keep some expenses down so that some companies will do better than others. The more interest rate sensitive companies may not do as well, but we're still looking for companies to do well. There's still a lot of pent up demand from the pandemic. Consumers have saved a lot more because they haven't been spending as much. So, they have this little stockpile of cash. Are they going to save it or are they going to spend it? That's the unknown. And then the other thing that we're looking for 2022, besides the rising interest rate and inflation, is hopefully the environmental issues that everybody's talking about, environmental, social, and governance, ESG, that will have a big effect on where money is spent on infrastructure. Will they be spending it on clean energy, building roads and railroads, and just making the country more energy
efficient?
Energy efficient, but also less reliant on other countries for our resources. So, we'll see how that plays out. In terms of the war that's going on in the Ukraine right now, that uncertainty has also been playing on the markets, but that too hopefully will pass. And so, will the markets do as well this coming decade as last 2 decades? Maybe not, but there's still opportunity in the markets. And one thing I heard today, which I thought was just so poignant, is demographics don't lie. What that means is, as we look at the population, and the largest sector of the population being the baby boomers, as we age, we spend more on healthcare needs.
Oh, yes. Boy, ads all over the place. It's like, no joke, literally no joke, I'll tell you. Yeah.
So healthcare is a sector of the economy we like. technology is always going to help this country, right? I mean, whether it's working remotely or better transportation, or when they build the roads, they're using technology to make these roads better, right?
Mhm.
Or when cars and the chips that go into making the cars more efficient or driverless. So we like technology, we like healthcare, and we also like industrials, because when we do the build outs, when these roads and bridges get replaced, they're using industrial equipment. So those are the sectors we like for 2022. And, like I said, inflation's going to be here for a little while.
And it's going to be quite a ride. I got to say that. And of course, I enjoy working at home just like many of us. Saves a lot on coffee and everything else going to machines. But and of course, it's good for people to come to advice for you as well and get through these times. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career, Wendy?
Um, Biggest influence in my career, I would say probably John Thiel, or probably John Thiel. He was the head of Merrill Lynch before we were acquired by Bank of America back in 2008. And his approach was, we're helping these people. They need our help. That's what we're here for. And that's what I do. And that's why I love what I do, because, there's a lot of financial advisors out there who don't put their clients' best interest first, but we absolutely put our clients' best interest first. And, to me, that's the most important thing.
And that's very important as well, too. You do a really good job of it. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Plan for their future, talk to an advisor, get a partner. It's funny, our compliance team always says, get a partner, talk to somebody, because you know what, we all may think, or not we all, but some people think, oh, I can go online and do it myself. I've seen a lot of people blow themselves up over the years. Doctors, lawyers, they're really smart at what they do. But when it comes to financial advice, sometimes, they could use a partner. They could use somebody to be a sounding machine, to listen to what they have to say and maybe have a different perspective. Since 1999, I've seen 2000 tech bubble, 2001 market crash, 2007, 2008 financial crisis. I've seen so many ups and downs in the market, but the one thing I can say with certainty is, over the long term, it goes up, but you have to be diversified. You have to invest wisely. And I don't look at it as gambling. I look at it as investing for the long term.
That is very good advice. We all should remember that. Once again, Wendy Brown, financial advisor with Merrill Lynch Wealth Management in New York City, here on the Mike Wagner Show. Wendy, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Learned a lot from you. Looking forward to having you again soon. Make sure you keep us up to date. Keep in touch. We'd love to have you back. We wish you all the best. And once again, tell us your upcoming projects, what's your website, how do people contact, where can people, purchase or just simply check you guys out?
Well, thank you again, Mike, for having me. They can reach me at Wendy, WENDY _S like Sam _Brown, like the color, at .com, or my phone number 212-338-6093. I'm here to answer any questions anyone has, or you can look up my website. It's fa.ml.com/Wendy _Brown. And again, for your time.
We certainly will do so. And thank you as well. Once again, Wendy, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you in soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. We wish you all the best, and you've got a great future ahead of you.
Thank you.